Welcome to Creative Kids with Curious Minds. Come on in for a tour. When you enter our facility, you will see that we have children's cubbies in the bottom left corner. Above that, we have a How Does Learning Happen board, which allows parents to see some of the activities and things that we've been doing as a group that promote a sense of inclusion, belonging, well-being, and engagement. Aside from that, we have the upcoming events board, which reminds parents of some of the extracurricular things that we're doing upcoming. Might be a little bit out of routine, and so it serves as a good reminder to help parents feel prepared and also know when their participation might be required. It also obviously would give them advance notice so that they can prepare on their end. Next to that, we have our locked medication cabinet, as well as our locked storage of records. This is convenient as it's right next to the front door, so as parents come in, if there's any updates that need to happen in terms of records or any new medication that is coming in, we are able to quickly note that on the proper materials so that we have a proper functioning list of things that we need to govern. If you slide over here, we have our washroom facility. It is somewhat open, which allows for supervision while children are going to the washrooms within the room itself. There are 3 sinks on that panel, as well as a mirror for children to watch themselves as they participate in hygiene practices. There are also 3 toilets, and in the very back corner there is a a storage closet where we will store brooms and basic mops and things like that. Obviously, as well, it is locked. So, above the washrooms, we feature children's artwork for that particular month. So that way parents are able to see some of the things that we've been working on and admire their children's efforts. Next to that, I placed the sink and the fridge. I figured that the sink would be rather smart to place next to the washroom for plumbing purposes. So that way, instead of bringing the sink all the way around and having to work out the plumbing all the way around the room, it's nice and tight in that corner. Next to that is the fridge and also a small countertop, and that's where we can prepare or just basically get the children's already prepared lunches out and just do basic things in regards to food storage and things like that. Above the fridge, we have the fire procedure and also a list of allergies, and it also notes where medications are being stored, so that way if there is an emergency of any kind, we can know exactly where we can get that life-saving medication. Beside that, we have storage for our art supplies, as you can see. And on top of this countertop, this counter is all for storage. Some of the shelving is open and features materials that the kids can regularly access. Some of the items, however, are locked up so that we can ensure that those materials are being reserved for specific activities and just to reduce chaos and mess that could go around with that. Now, we also have our sensory table, and that is also conveniently located next to the sink, as well as near our art center. So if we have any messy hands in art activities or in performing sensory tasks, we can easily have them wash up right next to the fridge. Next to that, we have a large window, and so that offers some natural lighting while children are working on their art. They can see the world around them while they are actively utilizing their imagination, and it can just give rise to additional creativity. Next to our art center, we have a little shelf here, and it basically features different outfits for dramatic play, and it also has the lower shelves are for musical equipment. And that is conveniently located right next to our dramatic play area. So that way kids can make choices, select what would facilitate their play at that time, and just allow them to explore. Next to that, we have our Math and Science Center, and as you can see, the room is basically featured around these desks. So those desks can be used for a variety of activities, but it's placed in a way that will allow us to use our blackboard if necessary. Below that, we have storage for puzzles, blocks, and other things that they can readily access during times of free play. That can still facilitate learning of different numbers and stacking and math and science overall. So there's our little block center. Now next to that, I've placed the calendar. I figured that also stimulates math activities for counting and things like that. It's also conveniently right next to the circle area, so we can regularly be incorporating that into our circle time, counting which day of the month it is, what year it is, things like that, to give the children a solid footing in those areas. There's also a bookshelf which children can sit on the carpet themselves and choose books and flip through. We can also use that while engaging in our literacy area, which is in the corner here. Beside that, I have put the alphabet just to further entrench the literacy area. And then below that, we have a mat that is rather open, that can be used for a variety of activities. The storage there, which are those little colored blocks, those are all free play materials. Those are ready for the children at all times, and there's the mat there that they can facilitate which choices that they would like to make in terms of which toys they want to use, and they can play accordingly. Above that is actually a window. Saran wrap was not my friend, so it has to be imaginary at this point, but that is a window and also a door. So that's the door to go outside, right next to the cubbies so that they can easily get ready for outdoor play. Upon entering the outdoor play area, you will see that we have a toy shed, and that is for storing all different types of materials, including gardening materials, tricycles, sandbox materials, and basically anything that we can use to facilitate outdoor play. There's a nice tree in the corner, and as well, that is a picnic table that serves as an outdoor picnic and project area, so we can bring some of our learning outside and do it as a group, math or science experiments, some art activities, things like that. It also gives us a place that we can have picnics. Beside that, we have just a rock that, children can climb on, or just to facilitate the outdoor space and natural textures. There's a dramatic play area, and this is where children can crawl in. They can basically engage in imaginary play. They could put on a play if they wanted and act as a stage. Next to that, we have our slide, and we also have a log that serves for basic gross motor functions, balancing, climbing, things like that, and some stepping stones as well. In the corner here, we have our sandbox, and it's a large sandbox that can accommodate a lot of children at once. Just to further entrench the difference of textures and things like that within their outdoor play. It's nicely closed in with trees. Our fences are all up to regulation, and it just provides a nice outdoor space. Aside from that, we just have some more greenery area, some flowers, and then if you spin around, you will see that we have our locked gate. Now that locked gate remains locked at all times unless it's in case of emergency. And we ask parents, no pickups or drop-offs will be happening through that gate. Parents will have to come through the main building and enter the outdoor play space to pick up their child and watch them at play. Right along the window there, we have our little garden center, and it's visible through the windows as well. So that just gives children a chance to not only watch things grow and tend to things over time, but they can also look outside and just see the progress. It also has a large sidewalk, which is great for tricycles, so that we can be doing different things at once and cater to a large group of children. It also has a place for sidewalk chalk and things like that. So overall, this is Creative Kids with Curious Minds, and I look forward to showing you our commercial. Thank you and have a great night.